Hello lovers, you are back in my life experiment and it is day 37.
I'm Natalie Iris Richards. Welcome to my channel. I'm $100,000 in debt due to an old business, and I'm doing a life experiment of turning that debt into my dream life using the law of vibration. I'm vlogging daily what I'm doing, and you can pick up tips and tricks along the way to apply to your own life. So hit the subscribe button and come along with me on this journey, and let's see how long it takes me to turn this debt into my dream life, and we can live a life of abundance together.
If you can't tell, I am tired. I am tired. I've been up since 3 a.m. It's daylight savings here. So the clocks went back and Dusty was up at 4, but I was up at 3. I'm an early bird anyways, but it was just, yeah, it's a journey doing daylight savings, the clock going back when you've got a baby as well. So yesterday for my life experiment, day 36, I spoke about tapping into my intuition by being in the present moment, and a really good way for me to do that is by doing my new Awaken breathwork 5-minute meditations. Yesterday, the thought popped into my head to start another YouTube channel of the food that I cook for Dusty and then we eat it together. Because that thought has popped into my mind 3 times now, I know that that's my intuition giving me signs, telling me to go a direction. So this morning I cooked us up the most delicious tofu scramble and avocado brekkie, and I filmed content for the very first episode of Dusty's Delicious Dishes YouTube channel. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to create the channel, but at least I've got the first bit of content for it. So that was really cool. The idea, I decided yesterday that I was gonna do it, and then today, this morning, I took the initiative, and I think it's gonna turn out really cool. Then I made Dusty some delicious Sammies. He's absolutely loving Marmite and avocado on multigrain bread at the moment. I made the Sammies because I needed to pack his little lunch today because we were getting out and about. We went and visited some friends. I feel like at the start of this experiment, I was very much like, I need to block people out. I need to focus everything on embodying the life of my dreams, and I need to not be distracted or around anybody else. But the law of vibration doesn't actually work like that. You need to live your life as if you have already achieved your dreams. The wealthy me absolutely socializes with my mates. Especially the ones that are really doing well. They inspire me. The energy exchange interaction between us is just goodness. This experiment with the law of vibration has also taught me to change my language in my head. For instance, there's been a couple times in the last, in the last few days, I've gone to the supermarket and I've looked at marinated artichokes in the jar, and they're quite expensive, and I've really wanted to buy them, but I do also know that I need to be mindful of how I'm spending the money that I've got left for all of the bills over the next few months while I'm doing this experiment. When I look at that jar of artichokes, instead of saying, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I tell myself I could buy the whole row of artichoke jars if I wanted to. I'm just not choosing to put my money towards that right now. It's a really powerful practice, and I've definitely got better and better at it. We went to our friend's house and we had the most beautiful catch up in their gorgeous little cottage. It was so sweet. Dusty was awesome. They love Dusty so much. And then they hooked me up with all of their abundant veggies and beautiful herbs from the garden. I think it's day 22 on this experiment. I talk about my veggie garden being a symbol of my wealth journey, because my garden is thriving and abundant right now, and I'm looking at nature and all the leaves, all the beautiful flavors from growing herbs and everything. It makes me feel wealthy and abundant. So when I got the big beautiful bag of all the beautiful stuff, it felt so special and nice. As we were leaving, they were like, oh, hey, do you want this? The biggest, the biggest jar, the biggest, most beautiful jar of marinated artichokes. The ones that I've been like, I can get the whole row, but I'm not choosing to. Thank you, universe. Thank you, my darling friends. So they went to Costco and they got 2 and they gave me this big, beautiful jar. So abundance, abundance, abundance. So grateful. Then Dusty and I went to the cafe and we caught up with our other group of friends. And they're my mates that don't have kids. So I think when I became a mum, like I haven't been able to see them a whole lot, but they're all doing such amazing things with their lives. And one of my mates has just bought her own home. So it was really good and inspiring and I was so happy for her. It's just a really awesome catch up and Dusty loved eating his Sammys in his little lobster chair that I've got him. He's such a good cafe baby. When we got home, I did my 5-minute breath work and I decided to do it in the garden and like take my shoes off and be all grounded, and it was so nice. And when I tapped into my intuition, when they ask what is your higher self telling you, it wasn't like super clear because I'm still learning how to do this, but definitely I had the feeling of like gratitude, like I need to have more gratitude than what I've got at the moment. That was kind of what I got from that beautiful 5-minute meditation with Awaken. I am going to tag that meditation in the description because it is so good. Then Dusty woke up and he was being super cute, hanging out with me in the garden, and then I heard him scream and I rushed up to him, saw all these bees around him, and his arm was, it was actually really traumatizing. His arm was going all red and puffy and blotchy, and so I rushed him to the emergency room. When we got there, the swelling and the redness of his arm had gone down, thank God, but his little ring finger was so swollen, the little darling. They were really awesome in there. They saw us straight away. The doctor was so lovely, bless her. She was trying to get the stinger out for, I don't know, a good 4 minutes, and Dusty was like squirming and crying, and I was trying to play like stuff on my phone for him. She said that the stinger was really like difficult where it was, like to try and get it out. Then she left the room to go and get a magnifying glass, and she was using these tweezers that would have been really good for like plucking out a golf tee out of a giant's finger. They were so huge. They were like my fingers, like trying to get a tiny little splinter bloody stinger out with these huge tweezers. So when she left to go and find the magnifying glass, I grabbed Dusty's finger and I looked and I could see the stinger, and I grabbed the tweezers and I just got it and plucked it out. I plucked it out. It was so satisfying, and he stopped crying. Then she came back into the room and I told her, I was like, I got it, don't worry, it's fine. He was like, oh yay, because obviously it's horrible for her when she's got a crying baby and she's trying to get this bloody stinger out of his tiny cute little bloody finger. So my protective mama mode was so on, and then it made me realize that I've been living my life, embodying, living my dreams, thinking about wealth, being the best mum that I can be, but I haven't really been zoning in on gratitude. And our health is our absolute wealth. And I got a good dose of, even though it was just like a bee sting today, it was still like his Dusty's arm blew up and I needed to drive to the doctors. That's the first time I've had to drive to the doctors with him, and it was scary. So after all that happened, I realized that I need to remember my gratitude for our health and our wellness. So today was a beautiful reminder of how awesome catch up with friends and beautiful gifts can quickly turn into a trip to the emergency room with your darling baby boy that's crying. So I need to focus this week especially on gratitude and just reinforcing gratitude. So I want to be a person that moves throughout life in every single moment finding the gratitude, and I know that that's going to elevate me even faster to living the life of my dreams. So maybe write down what you're grateful for today, or all of the goodness around you. Just take note of it, because what you're grateful for multiplies. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.